Okay, everybody, thanks for joining me again. Um, Today, got a special guest from Marlboro High School, Jess Riepe. Jess, thanks for joining me.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, Jess is a junior, finishing her junior year at Marlboro High School. Is school over yet for you?
No, I think we actually have about another month left.
Oh,
You would think they would end early, but
yeah. You know, I would guess it's hard to concentrate, knowing that you're not going back for this year.
yeah, it's definitely more difficult.
So, yeah, well, since we started with that, why don't we talk a little bit? How have you been dealing with the virtual learning and balancing training and schoolwork.
Well, personally, I'm more of a hands-on and like one-on-one learner. Like I like to have like that interaction with my teachers, but it's a little more difficult since we don't do Zoom calls. We just have Google Classroom assignments. So it's a little more difficult, but I've developed a routine for myself and I just wake up whenever because our assignments are not due till the end of the day. So I wake up pretty early, eat breakfast, and then I just do all my schoolwork. And then when I'm done with that, I just pretty much work out the rest of the day. So it's pretty good.
Oh, so that's different than some of the other people, not having the Zoom calls or whatever, and being able to set your own schedule because a few of the Catholic schools, 9 to 2, they had to be, for school, and then they could do the training after that.
Yeah, I actually like it better this way, honestly, because I kind of can do it whenever I want. I can take breaks. Like it's not so like dependent on like having the calls. So it's good.
Yeah, and it teaches you, how to manage your time better too.
Definitely.
That you get to control it and not somebody else. Um,
Yeah.
what kind of training have you been doing? Virtual training have you been doing?
I do virtual training with Tiny Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, and I do some RIP trainings um Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and also I've been training with Gary Linton Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah, I see, Gary doing a lot of stuff, and obviously Tiny doing a lot of stuff. So that that's good that keeping all the local girls on top of their game.
Yeah, definitely. I love it.
When did you start playing basketball?
I started playing basketball when I was about 5, like in kindergarten, and I started out at this place called Kelvin's Basketball Academy. It's fairly close to my house. So I did this for a couple of years until I was like old enough to join like a rec team. So I started that in about 3rd grade, and then I started like travel in 4th grade, AAU in 4th grade, and then I played for my church team in 5th grade.
Oh wow. Um,
Yeah,
what travel team were you on?
I was on Marlboro Travel.
Okay. How good was your team?
We were very good team. We won actually 4 out of the 5 Mid-Monmouth championships that we were in.
Oh wow.
So it was really cool to experience that.
Any other sports you played while you were younger?
My first sport was softball, and I started it when I was 5 because most sports you can't start that young.
Yeah.
So I played that, and I played that like pretty much most of my life, and then the 3 years in middle school that I played. And I also played soccer for 2 years, and I ran cross country in middle school, but then I stopped after that, and now I play volleyball at the high school also.
I've noticed more and more basketball players seem to be playing volleyball. That's a fall sport, right?
Yeah, it's a fall sport for the girls.
Yeah. A few people I talk to, I've noticed have playing volleyball. They say it's good, hand-eye coordination and movement.
Yeah, I really like it. I started my freshman year, and I just kind of stuck with it.
Very good. How old were you when you realized basketball was your sport? Because I know this day and age it's a little harder to focus on more than one sport because AAU or whatever it's academy soccer or travel softball all
Yes.
year round.
So I was probably in about like 5th or 6th grade, like right after like I joined my church league because I was playing on a bunch of different basketball teams at that time. And at this point, like we were winning a couple of championships for Mid Monmouth, and I was like really excited to keep playing and like learning and just like just getting better, and AAU interfered with softball, so I kind of just was, like, more interested in basketball, so I just played that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame this, AAU, travel softball, like I said, academy soccer, all year round limits, kids' ability to play more than one sport. When I was younger, everybody played three sports usually, soccer, basketball, baseball back then. Now
Yeah.
lacrosse is in the mix these days. Do you have any
Yeah.
you have any siblings? And if so, do they play any sports?
I have a 15-year-old sister who's a dancer, and I also have a baby sister, she's 2, and I hope that she plays basketball or some kind of sport. I don't want her to be a dancer.
You want to be able to teach her something, right?
Yeah, I just hope that she's, like, more on the, like, basketball, soccer, volleyball side. Like, I don't wanna be able to teach her dance. I'm not a good dancer.
I remember when my sister was a dancer, sitting at those recitals were brutal.
Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. I'm so glad that I have, like, basketball tournaments, and sometimes I get to miss them.
How about your parents? How have they helped you in your development?
My parents are probably, like, my biggest supporters, like, they've always been there for me since the beginning. Obviously, like, when I was younger, they had me signed up for all these sports, so I probably didn't even realize or, like, know that they were, like, signing me up for all these sports, but, like, I'm so thankful, like, and appreciative of them because they put me into the sport that I love now, and, like, my mom always makes sure that I'm signed up for, like, obviously now the virtual trainings and, like, basketball camps, like, whether it be, like, to try to get better or, like, even just elite camps for, like, colleges where I get an opportunity to, like, show what I can do. And, like, also, like, both my parents, they drive me to all the practices and games no matter, like, how far it is and just support me. And they sacrifice so much time, like, for my sisters and me, like, I can't even imagine. So I'm really thankful for them.
Now, we found out that your uncle used to be the coach of on the staff at St. Rose when I was at St. Rose. Does he still have anything to do with basketball?
No, he doesn't, but he still loves to come watch and support me too. So I really love when he comes to watch my games.
Yeah, that's great. Now, who are some of the trainers you use? I know you mentioned Tiny and Gary, virtual trainer, but when things open up, or in the past, where have you gone?
Yeah, so prior to the whole situation with the quarantine, I started going to the basketball warehouse. It's my second home. Like I love it there. Like I love the trainers, Bobby and Mark Tominski. They help me with my fundamentals and improve my basic basketball skills and just like increase my confidence. Like they made me so like confident in myself and just have like they made me radiate the energy that they gave onto the court. Like they radiated made me radiate the energy that they had and made me give it to everybody else. Like it was so helpful. I also trained with Tiny and like he's had a huge impact on my development. Like being at MBS, one of his programs, and being put in such a competitive environment, like I've grown so much. Like I've when I first went there, he put me against Fab Eggenschwaler and like she's one of the best defenders in the state, and I was so challenged in the beginning, and it was such a great environment to be in, and just like it's really helped me learn. And obviously, with the quarantine now, I joined Gary Linton's workouts, and it really helped me with my ball handling a lot, and helped me motivate, like be motivated to put 110% into every move. Like it's great.
Yeah, I don't know the basketball warehouse guys, but I always hear great things. And Tiny, obviously, you're gonna get the best competition. You said going up against Fab, who I agree is one of the best defenders in the state. Is only gonna make you better. And
Yeah.
I know Gary. We got to know each other pretty well, and I know his dedication. Always willing to help anybody that wants it. Who are some players you train with?
Well, at MBS, I usually train with most of the short girls, so like pretty much people from like RBC, Manasquan, Colts Neck, like people like Justine Passat, Soph Sabino, Tony Panitas, Emma Bruin, Cameron Foltz. I've trained with a bunch of those girls. And at Basketball Warehouse, like although we mostly like work on fundamentals, like certain people that go there, Christina Donza, she goes there a lot. I don't
Mhm.
know if you're familiar with her, but Grace Meehan from Mid-South, my Cardinals teammate, Nina Branchizio from Monroe, and actually two of my former teammates who graduated from Marlboro last year, Giselle Romeo and Teresa Besso. They also go there.
Earlier this week, I interviewed Bianca from Jackson and her sister, and they talked very highly about you during the short conference game. So I
Yeah,
know,
they're great people.
yeah, I know Christina and them very well. Um, so moving on to high school, what were some goals, going into your freshman year? What are some goals you had for your 4 years, not just your freshman year?
Well, like going into high school, like I knew I wasn't like the player that I wanted to be. So through like in the beginning of the year, I was just hoping that like by the end when I come out of high school, like I was a completely different player. Like I wanted to be able to put 110% into all the practices and games. I wanted to improve and I just wanted to be the best teammate that I could be.
I mean, that's a good mindset, knowing that you could get better, and
Yeah.
that'll help you, not just basketball, everyday life. What are some goals you had just for your freshman year?
Well, like I said, like I definitely wasn't the player that I wanted to be, but I wanted to make sure that anytime that when my coach called to put me in the game, like was putting the most effort that I could into the minutes that I got to show what I was capable of, to just prove myself to try to get more minutes on the court. But when I wasn't playing, my biggest goal was to be the best supporter and teammate and just radiate energy to my team, like in a practice or game, like whatever the situation.
Yeah, you know, an active bench, makes the people on the court play better. You don't want a quiet bench. I've
Yeah,
seen
100%.
where the bench, just sitting there, and you could see that energy carries onto the court too for those teams sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, who are your coaches freshman year?
Um, Freshman year, I had the head coach, Coach Brad Hagenson, and the assistant coaches were Coach Nash and Coach Levi, and that's pretty much been my same coaches for the past few years. But this past year, we added Coach Nick Russo to our bench.
Yes, I know. I remember him from the St. John Vianney days. It's a very good staff right there.
Yeah, I'm really appreciative for them.
What were some highlights your freshman year? And who were the any upperclassmen that you leaned on to help your development?
Some highlights were definitely just we beat Mid South for the first time in I think 15 years, my freshman year, and I was on the bench at that time, but it was a great experience, like just watching like the energy on the court and the energy that the bench had. Like you said, like when the bench is crazy, like the court, like your team's gonna be like energized, and it was a great experience to watch. And that year also, we made it to the semis in the this in the sectionals, and it was a great experience. But some upperclassmen were Jess Broad and Gisela Romeo. They basically were like two of the closest people, like two of my closest friends, basically, not just teammates, but like friends. They took me under their wing, and like I think that they could like tell that I was a little nervous, like being a freshman. It's not easy, like coming into the
Nope.
school, and just like I was in study hall with Jess Broad, and she would like always help me and like pretend like I was studying for a quiz, but like talking about where I would be on the court and who I would be with. So it kind of got easier over time. And they didn't have to do that. And I was just really thankful like that they took the time out of their day to just help me. They also like took me like they drove me around places to help me train and work with my shot and like just just hang out. It was really cool.
That's what makes great teammates. Making underclassmen feel welcome and willing to help them, any way they can.
Yeah.
Um, Moving on to your sophomore year, you had a big role with the team. Your sophomore year, what were some goals you had going into your sophomore year?
So some goals that I had sophomore year, like going into it, I obviously my freshman year I didn't play that much, and I wanted to be able to show my improvement that I made over the summer by like all my trainings and stuff. And I just wanted to make the biggest impact that I could by doing whatever role that my coach thought I should be in on the court. And as a team, like some goals were to adjust to the new system because at that time we were learning the new system. It was very new to all of us, and like we just wanted to be an effective team at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk a little bit later about the mass substitutions, and I had trouble. I usually try to keep my own stats during the game so I could give updates, but your team is the one team I just can't do it. It's just every time I look up, there's a new set of players on the court. So,
Yeah.
what were some highlights your sophomore year?
Um, Probably being able to like personally like seeing the impact that I made on the team. Like it was great to see like my personal improvement. But some highlights were like definitely getting to the Central Jersey Group 4 finals and like making like huge strides with my shot. Like I definitely had like my whole shot was changed.
Now, you said make it to the finals. You did make it to the finals. Talk a little bit about that game because that was a very close game against Middletown South.
Yes, that game will haunt me forever. Like I really only watched that game film one time. Like it was such a difficult game and like it still is really upsetting. But obviously like the games leading up to the finals were like so tight and like emotional and like being able to just like make it to that game, like make it to the finals was like crazy for us. Like it was amazing. But the day of the game, like I remember like I was at school and I just like could not focus. Like all my teachers, all my classmates were like, "Jess, you ready for the game? Like this is gonna be great." Like trying to like hype me up. Like the talk of the school was like about us making it to the final. Like nobody was talking about school. But it was like when we walked into the gym, like it was the first time anybody had really come to watch us play. Like we had like a tiny little student section, but it was still something, so it felt good. But walking to the gym and seeing like three-quarters of like the Mid South student section like filling up the bleachers, it was really intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. But like once I stepped on the court, I was like, this doesn't matter. Like it's game time. Like so, it was really cool. Like I just kind of zoned everything out. But like the whole game, like it was so close. Like obviously Mid South is a really skilled team. They have a great coach, and like I give them so much credit. But like that game, as much as like I want to say that it hurt to play in and like hurt to lose, it was a great game. Like we played very well. Our system was very successful. We hit our team's personal record for that season with like threes made in the game, and it was 18.
Oh
But in
wow.
the end, yeah, in the end, we were like we played really tough, but they were slightly tougher than us. And but it honestly, I think that the loss made us even more excited to be successful like this past season and just get our fire back.
That's great. Who are some of the players your sophomore year that helped you or that you had a special bond with?
Um, Basically, my whole team was like pretty close, but the seniors during that time, the senior captains were Giselle Romeo and Teresa Besso, and like every day they would just challenge us. Like Gisela, she was so fast, like she would just push us to be faster, and just she would just I don't know. It's like they always wanted to make us better. Like that was their goal to make the whole team better. Like and like just push each other. But Sammy J, like who I've been playing with since fourth grade, she's been definitely a key player in my development. Like not just my sophomore year. Like she helps me every year. Like she knows where I'm gonna be on the court at all times. She leads me to where I need to be, and like she's probably the best player that I work with on the court.
Yeah, Sammy J. She's a fun point guard. Uh,
Yeah.
and she knows how to get the ball into the open person's hands.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to your junior year, I saw quite a few of your games this year. Fun watching your team, full court press, not, shooting a lot of threes. What were some goals you had for your junior season?
So as a team, I think that like going into the season, we all agreed on like wanting to win the Central Jersey Group Finals again, or well, like get there and then win this year. But we also wanted to win the A North championship again, which we succeeded in doing. And a personal goal that I had going into the season was like to improve my shot even more and be a more versatile player on the court. So like meeting on the boards and like being able to get to the basket better and just like make more of an impact whenever I could.
Now, you said improving your shot. I was looking at the stats. You hit 97 threes. You have to have a pretty good shot to hit that many threes.
Yeah, it took a
um,
lot of work. Like I definitely I my freshman year I barely knew how to shoot the ball. And then going to my sophomore year, like I had a shot, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be at. So making it like that far in my junior season from like the impact that I made, it was surreal. Like it was a great feeling.
yeah, my feeling was you seeing all the teams play, you were probably, top of the shore for consistency on the 3-point shooter. Every game I went to, you never seemed to have an off day shooting. I want to talk a little bit, Shore Conference tournament. Um, your first big game against Jackson. It was a rough game, both teams. Talk a little bit about, that Jackson game.
So I knew going into that game, like it wasn't gonna be easy. Like I knew Christina Donza, I knew Rachel Capua, I knew Bianca Giordano. I've trained with Bianca and I've played against Christina and Rachel since I was in Mid Monmouth. Like they're great players and they have great coach and like a great team behind them. And I knew it wasn't gonna be easy. Like throughout the game, both teams were so aggressive and wanted to win, and it was just an overall like really competitive game. But like with both teams getting banged up, like we didn't want any serious injuries, obviously. But I think getting banged up made the game more interesting and showed like who really wanted to win. Like it really like came down to like who was willing to put up a harder fight.
Yeah, I agree. It was two great teams on the court. I did not like the matchup for Jackson Memorial. I thought you guys matched up better against them.
Hmm.
Um, Talk a little, getting banged up. Sammy J. I think did she bang her head in the Jackson game?
She had a cramp in her calf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she
Um,
got cramped up.
yeah. So leading into you go against St. John Vianney in the quarters, which the best team in the Shore,
Yeah.
probably the best team in the state. Very deep team as well. You're a deep team, which was one of the advantages you had over Jackson. St. John Vianney, very deep team, so they can match you there with the bench. Talk a little about that game and what it meant, Sammy J not playing that game.
So I think that like honestly, like the game against Jackson definitely like affected us playing, but we still prepare for the game like we would any other game. Obviously, they're a very skilled team and they're number one in the Shore, very high up in the state. And the coach is great, the team is great. Like they always put up a fight, but like we still went into the game with the same energy and confidence that we do. Sammy didn't play because of an injury. I was disappointed when my coach sat me at halftime because I had an injury. So it
Yeah.
was really like it was really hard. Like we wanted to keep playing, keep fighting back, but with them being a very fast-paced team, moving the ball very well, like I don't think that like as much as we prepared, we weren't as ready as we thought that we were. So, I don't know.
And St. John Vianney, they have so many weapons. That could score if Madison's not scoring. Katie Hill score, Emma could
Yeah,
score,
every
Christina
one
White.
of their players.
Yeah, Christina White has very underrated. Doesn't get the attention, but she's also lethal from deep. Um, Very good team. Now moving on, you guys go into the states. You win your first round game. You lose in the semis. Talk a little about kind of being an upset in the semis.
Um, Nothing beats the game. Nothing hurts harder than the game against Mid South, but this game came pretty close. We worked like just like last the my sophomore year, we worked so hard to get to that point, and we thought that we had it. But the loss obviously was very difficult. But we put up a fight. We did all that we could. We didn't stop playing to the last buzzer, and we just as a team we wanted to get in that position and win the finals, but as much as we wanted that, you don't always get what you want. and it's just a learning experience. It comes down to what can we do better next year, like how can we improve as a team. And personally, I was heartbroken and sad, but like I said, like I'm excited to work with our new team next year and like see what we can do next year.
Now next year, going into your senior year, you most of the team's coming back, right? And you got Sammy J.
Yeah,
Um,
we're losing 4 seniors.
okay. So, I mean, good core coming back, especially, for seniors when you're playing, you guys usually play 12 deep anyway, get into the game. So you should be, on top, top five in the shore next year too,
Yeah,
especially with the leadership of, you and Sammy J. I
yeah.
talk about what are some goals you have, for next season, team goals and then some personal goals you might have.
I think that like we really want to come together more as a team and like be able to close out those tough games and to win the A North Championship again and hopefully make it that far in states and win the sectional finals again. That's always gonna be a goal. But personally, as much as like I made strides with my shot this past year, I still want to become more consistent and like learn to contribute to my team in other ways.
I mean, that's great. You did do the games I went, you did do everything, boards, passing the ball. It was really nice watching you this past season.
Thank you.
Moving on, AAU. Who do you play for, AAU?
Well, my first AAU team, I started off with the Central Jersey Hawks, and I played there for 1 year. And then I
Hmm.
switched teams to the Jersey Sting, which lasted 3 years, but the organization changed its name, so it was technically the same team, but it became the
Okay.
Jersey Shore Elite. I played there for 2 years, and last year I played for the Jersey Cardinals, and hopefully, if this season happens, I'm going to be playing for the New Jersey Shore Shots 2021 team.
Well, I mean, it seems like some good news is happening with AAU, and it looks like there will be some sort of games going on. Who are
Yeah, I
who are
hope
some of your
so.
AAU, who are some of your AAU coaches?
My first year I played for Scott Cannon, but when I was on the Jersey Sing and Jersey Shore Elite, I played for Rob Hill for 4 years and Caitlin Linney for 1 year. Um,
Okay.
for the Jersey Cardinals, I played for Patty Coyle, and this year, hopefully, I will be playing for Tracy Sabino.
Talk about playing for Patty Coyle. Emma spoke very highly when I talked to her. With all her experience, Patty's experience.
Yeah, she's a great coach. Like I loved playing for her. She definitely helped me with my improvement. Like I definitely wouldn't be the Jess Riepe from my junior year season without her. Like she did a lot for me and really focused on like making my mindset like much more confident and like she showed me what I was truly able to do like as a player, even as a person. Like she really had a great impact on me.
Who are some teammates you played AAU, through the years?
Through the years, in the beginning, I played AAU with my Marlboro teammates Sammy J and Laura Moorhead for basically my entire career up until last year. And those first few years when I played on Jersey Sting and Jersey Shore Elite, I played with Katie Hill and Meg Cahallen. Um, and like some other players that I played for like at that time was Jess Thiesing and Chance Gagliardi from Colts Neck and Rachel Capio from Jackson. I actually played with too. But last year on the Cardinals, I played with Nina Branchitio from Monroe and Emma Bruin, who I played with on JSE like on that last year. But they're two of my best friends that like I always train with and I always play with. Like it's always just a good time. I also played with Grace Wilson from RBC, and that's pretty much as far as shore players go. But we were based out of Rutgers Prep, so like basically the players from like were all from all over.
Yeah, I mean, you just named a lot of talent there, and I think since you're playing with Sammy J for so long, you could see that chemistry on the court, which is great.
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts with AAU being delayed? Early on, it didn't look good whether if there was going to be games or not. It seems like it might be opening up a little bit. So, what are your thoughts on that? Because it'll be your final AAU season.
Yeah, so since it's my final AAU season, like obviously I'm taking it a lot harder than I probably would have if it was any other year. but it's really stressful. Like, having the good news that something might be happening and things might be opening up is really good to hear, but, like, I just wanna get back on the court and play, and, like, I was really excited to play for such a great program with a great coach and, like, a great group of girls, like, with on the shore shots, which is really upsetting, so I'm, like, really looking forward to just hoping for good news, but, like, I just love basketball so much and, like, virtual trainings, like, as much as it's helping me, like, it's nothing beats, like, playing a game, like, it just stinks that I'm missing out on, like, basically the most important, like, AAU season.
Yeah, I agree. Virtual training can do a lot, more for the fundamentals, but you need to get the competitiveness. You need to, be going against people.
Yeah.
So future, what are some goals you have, after high school?
Um, I hope to play college basketball and just be successful at the next level, just athletically and academically, and, like, I'm really looking forward to just the college experience because I wanna be able to play at the next level and just see where my education takes me, like, with careers and stuff.
Any idea what you want to be when what your major might be?
Yeah, so I'm not really 100% sure, but I'm leaning towards studying special education.
That's good. And you don't have to lock down. I know people that changed their major while they were in college, two or three times. So,
Yeah.
before we wrap up, what's some advice you could give like younger kids, that want to get better?
Um, I would just say to, like, never give up. Like, if you have your mind and heart set on something, just go for it. Like, never stop working until you are, like, happy with the results that you're getting. Like, never stop. Don't give up on what you want, and just keep pushing yourself.
I mean, that's great. Especially coming from you. When you talk about where you were your freshman year till now, it just shows what hard work you get you.
Yeah, and staying positive also helps too. Just
Yeah,
keeping
yeah.
a good mindset.
No, that's good. And keeping positive people in your life.
Yeah.
All right, Jess, I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you again for
And
having
I
me.
look forward to seeing you. Oh, no problem. I look forward to seeing you on the court next season.
Thank you so much.
All right, you have a good day.
You too. Bye.